Day 72, Desert Wanderings, Numbers 24 through 25, Deuteronomy 26, Psalm 106. Let's begin. Numbers 24, 25. And when Balaam had seen that it was pleasing to the Lord that he should bless Israel, he by no means went out as he had gone before, to seek divination, but directing his face opposite the desert. And lifting up his eyes, he saw Israel dwelling in tents by their tribes, and with the Spirit of God rushing into him. Taking up his parable, he said, Balaam, the son of Beor, the man whose eye has been obstructed. The hearer of the sermon of God, he who has gazed upon a vision of the Almighty, he who falls down, and so his eyes are opened, has declared. How beautiful are your tabernacles, O Jacob, and your tents, O Israel! They are like forested valleys, like gardens irrigated next to rivers, like tabernacles which the Lord has fixed, like cedars close to waters. Water shall flow from his jar, and his offspring shall be amid many waters, because Agag, his king, shall be taken, and his kingdom shall be removed. Away from Egypt, God has led him, whose strength is like the rhinoceros. They shall devour the nations that are his enemies, and break their bones, and pierce them with arrows. Lying down, he has slept like a lion, and like a lioness, whom no one would dare to awaken. He who blesses you, shall himself also be blessed. He who curses you, shall be considered cursed. And Balak, being angry against Balaam, clapped his hands together and said, I called you to curse my enemies, and to the contrary, you have blessed them 3 times. Return to your place. I had decided, indeed, to honor you greatly, but the Lord has deprived you of the designated honor. Balaam responded to Balak, Did I not say to your messengers, whom you sent to me? Even if Balak would give me his house, filled with silver and gold, I still could not go away from the word of the Lord my God, so as to offer anything, either good or evil, from my own heart. But whatever the Lord will speak, this, too, I shall speak. Yet truly, as I continue on to my own people, I will give you counsel as to what this people shall do to your people in the end times. Therefore, taking up his parable, he again spoke, Balaam the son of Beor, the man whose eye has been obstructed. The hearer of the sermon of God, he who knows the doctrine of the Most High, and who sees the visions of the Almighty, who, falling down, has his eyes opened, has declared. I shall see him, but not presently. I shall gaze upon him, but not soon. A star shall rise out of Jacob, and a rod shall spring up from Israel. And he shall strike down the commanders of Moab, and he shall devastate all the sons of Seth. And he shall possess Idumea, the inheritance of Seir shall fall to their enemies. Yet truly, Israel shall act with strength. From Jacob will be he who shall be ruler, and he shall perish the remnants of the city. And when he saw Amalek taking up his parable, he said, Amalek, first among the Gentiles, whose very end shall be perdition. Likewise he saw the Kenites, and taking up his parable, he said, Robust, indeed, is your habitation. But though you will set your nest in a rock, and you will be elect among the stock of Cain, how long will you be able to remain? For Assur shall take you captive. And taking up his parable once more he said, Alas! Who will be able to survive, when God will do these things? They shall arrive in Greek warships from Italy. They shall overcome the Assyrians, and they shall devastate the Hebrews, and yet, at the very end, even they themselves shall perish. And Balaam rose up, and he returned to his place. Likewise Balak went back, along the way by which he had arrived. Now Israel, at that time, dwelt in Shittim, and the people were fornicating with the daughters of Moab, who called them to their sacrifices. And they ate, and they adored their gods. And Israel was initiated into Baal of Peor. And so the Lord, being angry, said to Moses, Take all the leaders of the people, and hang them on gallows against the sun, so that my fury may be averted from Israel. And Moses said to the judges of Israel, Let each one kill his neighbors, who have been initiated into Baal of Peor. And behold, one of the sons of Israel entered, in the sight of his brothers, to a prostitute of Midian, within view of Moses and of all the crowd of the sons of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle. And when Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, had seen it, he rose up from the midst of the multitude, and, seizing a dagger, he entered after the Israelite man, into the brothel, and he pierced both of them at the same time, specifically, the man and the woman at the location of their genitals. And the scourge ceased from among the sons of Israel. And there were slain 24,000 men. And the Lord said to Moses, Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has averted my wrath from the sons of Israel. For he was moved against them by my zeal, so that I myself, in my zeal, might not wipe away the sons of Israel. Because of this, say to him, Behold, I give to him the peace of my covenant. And the covenant of the everlasting priesthood shall be as much for him as for his offspring. For he was zealous on behalf of his God, and he has made expiation for the wickedness of the sons of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite man, who was killed with the Midianite woman, was Zimri the son of Salu, a leader from the kinship and tribe of Simeon. Moreover, the Midianite woman, who was put to death together with him, was called Cosbi the daughter of Zur, a most noble leader among the Midianites. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Let the Midianites perceive you as enemies, and strike them down. For they, too, have behaved with hostility against you, and they have deceived you insidiously by means of the idol Peor, and by Cosbi, the daughter of a commander of Midian, their sister, who was struck down in the day of the scourge because of the sacrilege of Peor. Deuteronomy 26. And when you will have entered into the land which the Lord your God will give to you to possess, and when you will have obtained it and are living within it, you shall take the first of all your crops, and place them in a basket, and you shall travel to the place which the Lord your God will choose, so that his name may be invoked there. And you shall approach the priest who will be in those days, and you shall say to him, I profess this day, before the Lord your God, that I have entered into the land about which he swore to our fathers that he would give it to us. And the priest, taking up the basket from your hand, shall place it before the altar of the Lord your God. And you shall say, In the sight of the Lord your God, the Syrian pursued my father, who descended into Egypt, and he sojourned there in a very small number, and he increased into a great and strong nation and into an innumerable multitude. And the Egyptians afflicted us, and they persecuted us, imposing upon us the most grievous burdens. And we cried out to the Lord, the God of our fathers. He heard us, and he looked with favor upon our humiliation, and hardship, and distress. And he led us away from Egypt, with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with a mighty terror, with signs and wonders. And he led us into this place, and he delivered to us the land flowing with milk and honey. And because of this, I now offer the first fruits of the land which the Lord has given to me. And you shall leave them in the sight of the Lord your God, and you shall adore the Lord your God. And you shall feast on all the good things which the Lord your God will give to you and to your house, you, and the Levite, and the new arrival who is with you. When you will have completed the tithing of all your crops, in the 3rd year of tithes, you shall give it to the Levite, and to the new arrival, and to the orphan, and to the widow, so that they may eat within your gates and be satisfied. And you shall say, In the sight of the Lord your God, I have taken what was sanctified from my house, and I have given it to the Levite, and to the new arrival, and to the orphan and the widow, just as you have commanded me. I have not transgressed your commandments, nor have I forgotten your precepts. I have not eaten from these things in my grief, nor have I separated them due to any kind of uncleanness, nor have I expended any of these things in funerals. I have obeyed the voice of the Lord my God, and I have done all things just as you have instructed me. Look with favor from your sanctuary and from your lofty habitation amid the heavens, and bless your people Israel and the land which you have given to us, just as you swore to our fathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. Today the Lord your God has instructed you to carry out these commandments and judgments, and to keep and fulfill them, with all your heart and with all your soul. Today, you have chosen the Lord to be your God, so that you may walk in his ways, and keep his ceremonies and commandments and judgments, and obey his command. Today, the Lord has chosen you, so that you may be his particular people, just as he has spoken to you, and so that you may keep all his precepts, and so that he may cause you to be more exalted than all the nations which he has created, for the sake of his own praise and name and glory, in order that you may be a holy people for the Lord your God, just as he has spoken. Psalm 106. Alleluia. Confess to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy is with every generation. Let those who have been redeemed by the Lord say so, those whom he redeemed from the hand of the enemy and gathered from the regions. From the rising of the sun and its setting, from the north and from the sea. They wandered into solitude in a waterless place. They did not find the way of the city to be their dwelling place. They were hungry, and they were thirsty. Their soul fainted within them. And they cried out to the Lord in tribulation, and he rescued them in their necessity. And he led them in the right way, so that they might go forth to a city of habitation. Let his mercies confess to the Lord, and let his miracles confess to the sons of men. For he has satisfied the empty soul, and he has satisfied the hungry soul with good things. Those sitting in darkness and in the shadow of death, shackled by extreme poverty and by iron. For they exasperated the eloquence of God, and they irritated the deliberation of the Most High. And their heart was brought low with hardships. They were weakened, and there was no one to help them. And they cried out to the Lord in their tribulation, and he freed them from their distress. And he led them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and he broke apart their chains. Let his mercies confess to the Lord, and let his miracles confess to the sons of men. For he has crushed the gates of brass and broken the iron bars. He has taken them up from the way of their iniquity. For they were brought low, because of their injustices. Their soul abhorred all food, and they drew near even to the gates of death. And they cried out to the Lord in their tribulation, and he delivered them in their necessity. He sent his word, and he healed them, and he rescued them from their utter destruction. Let his mercies confess to the Lord, and let his miracles confess to the sons of men. And let them offer sacrifice with the sacrifice of praise, and let them announce his works in exultation. Those who descend to the sea in ships, making their livelihood in the great waters. These have seen the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep. He spoke, and a windstorm stood up, and its waves were exalted. They ascend even to the heavens, and they descend even to the abyss. Their soul will waste away in distress. They were troubled, and they moved like a drunkard, and all their wisdom was consumed. And they cried out to the Lord in their tribulation, and he led them out of their distress. And he replaced the storm with a breeze, and its waves were stilled. And they were joyful that it was stilled, and he led them into the haven that they desired. Let his mercies confess to the Lord, and let his miracles confess to the sons of men. And let them exalt him in the church of the people, and praise him in the chair of the elders. He has placed rivers in the desert, and sources of water in dry places. A fruit-bearing land in the midst of brine, before the malice of those who dwell in it. He has placed a desert in the midst of pools of waters, and a land without water in the midst of sources of water. And he has gathered the hungry together there, and they constructed a city of habitation. And they sowed fields and planted vineyards, and they produced the fruit of nativity. And he blessed them, and they were multiplied exceedingly. And he did not diminish their beasts of burden. And they became few, and they were afflicted by the tribulation of evils and of sorrow. Contempt was poured over their leaders, and he caused them to wander in an impassable place, and not on the way. And he helped the poor out of destitution, and he stationed families like sheep. The upright will see, and they will rejoice. And every iniquity will block its mouth. Who is wise and will keep these things? And who will understand the mercies of the Lord?